live streamed. This is a new record for me. Usually the screw up happens during the live stream, but this time I actually screwed up before the live stream started. Dear sweet monkeys.
It's because you were talking about screwing up.
Yeah, it's all my fault. It's all my fault. Anyway, so good morning, good evening, or good afternoon. Thank you for joining us once again, the Monsters of Gaming. I'm Evil Kaiju K, and with me here is Evil Rebel Vanity.
Hello.
Evil Subliminal.
Hello.
Evil Mama Bear.
Hi.
Evil K-Man. Evil Juggernaut Jared. Deathgasm. And the evilest of all, Necro Nick. Now, did anyone notice that I didn't use the term... Did anyone notice I didn't... You shush. Did anyone notice that I didn't mark down Deathgasm as being evil? Because he already is. So tonight we're popping... Tonight we're popping into making our own personalized villains. Villains are evil. Villains are villainy. Basically, as far as I really gotta go. But here at TMOG, we want to push the envelope and make ourselves eviler. So each one of us has taken at least a week, except for Subliminal, to create their evil villain. Because Subliminal gave me all the information from his villain within the first 24 hours. And you guys think I prepare too fast. He was done within 24 hours. He was already shooting me the messages and everything. At least Rebel took a couple days to shoot me hers. I mean, come on, guys. Give me some time here. So we're going to be talking about what we feel would be evil villains. How strong, how much endurance, how agile, intelligent, what our world plans are, goons, weaknesses, etc. And what would it take to put one of us down? Now, the main rule here is you can't be invincible. You have to have something that can put you down. And it has to be something that somebody can get a hold of. You know, you can't say Thor's hammer, but the first thing you do is kill everybody who can hold Thor's hammer. That doesn't work. You can either be contained or killed. That's it. You don't got to be a god character, because as I was telling these guys earlier, some of the best, most well-known villains don't really have all that much power. And yet they're some of the most high-ranked and enjoyable villains. So, that being said, K-Man, since you possibly might be leaving before we're done here, we're going to have you start off. So, what kind of villain of villainy are you bringing, K-Man?
Is he here?
Silence Man?
Hey, you're right, buddy.
The silence of silent man? K-Man?
Yeah, man. If your mic's not working, exit and return.
Yeah, if you can hear us, we can't hear you. Reset. All right, I think he could hear it.
Sorry, guys. Is that better?
There we go. We can hear you now.
Hey, sorry about that.
And remember, you can have as much detail or as little detail as you want. So, K-Man, you're the first villain on the list. Take it away.
Thank you. Alright, so my character is born in Hong Kong. He went down to training for advanced combat training, psychological training, and martial arts. He's 6'11". He wears a jet black suit and gray gloves. Now, his mask is an Oni mask. For those who don't know, it's you can look it up, but generally I get the history behind it. Not the history, but it's a demon mask, basically, in Japanese culture.
They like to drink. Onis like to drink.
Yes, they do.
Okay, so you're...
they love hockey.
Okay, so
he has gray gloves. That's how you can find him in the crowd.
Okay, besides the giant Oni mask. And the fact that he's 6'11", living in Korea.
Yeah, basically.
Have you been to Korea? Sorry, not a lot of Koreans reach that height, or at all. I'm 6'3".
No, they're like 5 nothing.
Yeah, I know.
I do want to go to Korea. But getting sidetracked. So, he has magically infused playing cards.
Okay. Liking it?
Not so much like, what's that game I'm thinking of? Yu-Gi-Oh! Not like that, but just like Gambit.
Oh, he lost points now. I thought he was going to Yu-Gi-Oh! People up.
Oh, no. Slightly realistic, slightly not. This is kind of in between.
I'm going to send you to the Shadow Realm!
Think of like the bicycle playing cards.
Okay, but magically enhanced. Okay.
So like Gambit.
Again?
Fine, like Gambit. I'm not playing Gambit.
So they could be like the Jokers that just cut through shit.
Oh, okay. Alright, anywho, the match confused. So he can throw them like throwing knives. If he hits you with a playing card, it's like a knife piercing you.
Ouch, okay.
Now, he can throw them on the floor like a booby trap. Now, okay. Yeah.
Or they go like caltrops.
No, they explode.
Okay, I was going to say, because that would be nasty. You throw a card on the ground, someone steps on it, goes right through their boot, cuts the bottom of their foot up, they're gone. They're not going to continue that chase.
Ooh. What about caltrop bombs?
Oh, that's even worse. I step on it, goes in my foot, then it blows off my toes. Ah! I'm out of that fight.
That sounds more interesting.
I'm out of that fight. Continue, man. Continue.
I should have workshopped this a little better, but...
Dude, it's fine.
Mine was like more like an anti-personnel mine, sort of, kind of.
Hey, that works. That works.
So, the weapons he's carrying besides the playing cards, because there's only 52 in a deck.
He's a villain!
6-hour pistol, AK-74, and the last resort. That's the last resort when it comes down to firearms and hand-to-hand combat. What it really focuses on is hypnosis. So what's going to happen is a gas is going to emanate from underneath his shirt, his jacket, I should say.
So too much Taco Bell.
Yeah, but here's a caveat. Now you don't pass out. It's not like chloroform or anything like that, or the Joker's gas like that. No, what's going to happen is it's almost scentless. By the time what you just smell are like roses, chrysanthemums, lilacs, like the nice smelling flowers.
Okay.
Once you smell that, you're already trapped.
It's already too late.
Yeah. So your body's going to go into a comatose state, rigid. Nothing can move you. You can be hit by a truck. I mean, you'll fall flat, but you won't notice it. So what's going to happen is we're going to go into your mind. And in your mind, we're going to go into a white, wide room. In that room, there's going to be a table and 2 chairs. I'm going to be standing there. You're going to try to hit me, do stuff to me, but nothing will actually happen. We're going to sit down and have tea. In the tea,
we're going on a trip in my favorite rocket ship.
Yes. We'll sit down and have tea, and then we're going to go through how you could have had a long, fruitful life and endeavors, but you chose to come after me.
Sounds like a psychiatrist.
Yeah, basically. And then,
tell me about your mother.
Your body will slowly deteriorate.
Oh!
Your mind will snap like that. And when your mind snaps, you won't realize until you're done. That you sip your last sip of tea and then bang off like that. Gone. Then you become a minion, and you'll serve me, and you'll take orders without question. I can tell you, right at your best friend and say, shoot him, and then pull bang. He'll do it. Don't even think about it.
Alright.
And then by doing that, I keep going around. I look like a normal person. I mean, yeah, I'm a freaking giant. But
normal person. It's Godzilla!
So I can go to a police station and do that, or a lawyer, or a judge. I don't have to kill you, I just have to, like, control you. And then when I control you, when I have the police force and lawyers in my back pocket, I'm able to funnel in drugs through the country. And then I go, because when in Hong Kong, I'm mostly working with, like, triads, yakuza, and stuff like that. And the way to get me, the only way to get me, is I'm constantly on my guard. The only time I let my guard down is when I go to a really nice Chinese shop where they serve the best dumplings around.
Okay.
And that's when I open my guard down.
Okay, so
let's
go through the list of questions. About how strong are you physically?
I would say
average, human, superhuman, Olympian, or athletic. You know.
Take like Jet Li and Jackie Chan.
So athletic. So athletic. Okay.
Yeah.
How hard would it be to take you down? Like, are we talking like gunfire, swords? Are we talking like small explosives?
You're gonna be a tank.
Tank? Okay, so pretty high endurance, like superhuman level of endurance. Okay. Agility wise, are you a very fast and agile character at 6'11"?
Because I went through combat training, yes. I'm very agile.
How agile are we talking?
Like Olympian acrobatic.
Okay. How intelligent is your character?
Put on a bar. I honestly have to say maybe around.
Like, are you genius level, super genius level, average guy? I mean, what kind of intelligence are we talking here?
I would say like genius.
Okay.
So I have to know how to use a chemical formula to get people to be knocked out. And
all right. Well, that's something on the level Scarecrow is. Scarecrow's pretty smart too, and he uses the same kind of idea. All right. So you already said before you like to be around areas like Hong Kong and such. So obviously we have your basic area we'd find you in.
So if it makes it simple for people who may not understand what I'm trying to portray, I take like Deadshot and the Punisher, mix them together with like Scarecrow and his like psychoanalyst.
You gotta wait. We were getting to that part. You gotta wait for that question. We're at the minion part now. We're at that other part next. So you say you basically break down these people's minds. So as far as minions go, are they just like regular Joes with maybe a little bit of enhancement, or? I mean, obviously their intelligence is going to be kind of on the I'm insane side because you broke their brain, but they are fully loyal to you, so they can't turn against you.
So with the minions, you're not going to tell that they're minions.
Right, because you didn't say you
So
destroyed
in the essence that they look like no regular people, except their minds like fractured. The other time you'll see like, oh, that's the minions when they start like acting erratically like, hey, slow down, certain people.
Well, like half the brain that they basically had before, since you have part of basically the brain controlled, so basically like half the intelligence that they had and everything.
They'll walk around like regular people until he needs them. And then they snap.
When I need them to do a task, their eyes will turn blue.
Ah, there you go. So that's when you can tell.
Like a piercing blue.
All right. So now to that part that you jumped ahead to. Let's listen. What is exactly your character's goal? What is their reason for being evil? You haven't added that yet. You just said that he's an average, normal 6'11" guy living in Korea. Sorry, Hong Kong.
Yeah. Just to be a crime boss, just take over the world because he has his power and the ego. And he knows as it's time until someone can come up and stop him, that he's so unstoppable because he has all these minions and all these like people working for him.
Okay.
Whether they be knowing they're working for him or subconsciously being controlled to work for him.
Right.
And then once he gets control of the Southeast Asia network, he just spreads out like like a virus, basically.
Okay. So, the last question is about your overall power. And what this is looking at the world of Marvel and DC, which are basically the two we're going to look at the most here. What would it take to bring you down? Would it take, could Batman somehow figure out a way to take you down? Or are we talking more along the lines of, Superman would have to bust through a wall and beat the shit out of you level, Are we talking get the Green Lantern Corps in here and nuke the planet? Spider-Man gonna jump through a window and web your ass? I mean,
I would have to say, Marvel. I'm gonna have to say maybe
So who from Marvel who could take you down? Just give an example. If you picked one character from Marvel that could take you down, who would it be? And please don't say Captain Frisbee, or I'll be very disappointed in your character.
Oh, I can't stand that guy. I'm gonna say maybe Batman, but it would be really, really hard.
Okay, so you're along the level of Ra's al Ghul then, which is
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. But it has to come down to brute strength, not like tools and equipment.
Well, right. I mean, well, everyone knows Batman's well known for using brute strength and not tools and techniques.
Yeah. So yeah, I would say Batman.
Okay, that's hard. And once again, like I said, you don't gotta be super monstrous to win these fights. You don't. Did you know how many people hear names like Galactus, the Devourer of Worlds, and go, "Who the hell is that?" And then you explain, and they're like, "Oh, is that like a Batman villain or something?" They don't listen.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
All right.
So I would say like a souped-up Ra's al Ghul, basically. That's
fine. That's fine. Pretty powerful character. The 6'11" thing is kind of pretty cool. He's a 6'11" guy. So I mean, and he's walking around
really.
And then you're walking around
really easily in Asia.
and then wearing a giant Oni mask. So, I mean,
yeah.
You know, unless freaking Devil Boy's walking through the area or Hellboy's walking through the area, you're gonna be noticed. But you know, I like the character. Throwing cards that explode, gases that just tear apart a person's brain. I can live with that. What the heck was that?
I don't know.
Juggernaut, stop shooting down planes.
His supervillain kind of reminds me of a skull that's in Skull the Hero Slayer called the Gambler.
Oh.
Is he 6'11" wearing an Oni mask?
No, he's in a cowboy freaking costume, but still, the whole concept with cards, he throws cards, they explode, he shoots guns.
Well, so does the Joker!
Dice that explode. But I'm just saying, it reminded me of Skull when he was explaining it at first.
Okay. Well, thank you for bringing that one up, K-Man.
Thank you.
Very good game. Anyone who watches this, if you're interested in Skull, play. It's a freaking great game.
Don't listen to him. He plays My Little Pony games. Anyway, so we're going with the next film.
That was the secret, and you know it.
It was one time. It was one time. Actually,
I just wanted to play with my jabroni.
No lie though. There is actually a My Little Pony game that I love to play. I'm not joking. It's actually a fighting game.
What? I
think it's My
remember.
My Little Pony Fighting is Magic or something. They actually designed it really well. There's no fatalities or anything like blowing people against the wall with cannons and hooking balloons up and throwing them up into the air, crap like that. It was actually pretty fun. That being said, we're going to move on to the next film. Since K-Man went, we're going to go through the list that we usually do. Next up is going to be Deathgasm. Deathgasm, we're up against your villain now. Hopefully he's not near the Asian continent.
I got that marker corner.
I'll put this what his goal is first.
Okay.
He's gonna work from the shadows as like Kingpin to try and take over the world. Not just like a city, not just a country, the fucking world.
Well, we can.
And he has the intelligence and means to do it.
Well, I can count a number of villains like that on both hands and still have to use my toes. So far, no surprise. Let's continue, though. Let's get to the surprising part.
His power is to turn into water at a molecular structure.
At a molecular level.
Yeah.
Yes.
The heck?
Well, not for nothing, but everyone laughed at Sandman when he could do it too until he hit a beach. I remember that Spider-Man comic. They had to hit him with a freaking HM40 freaking bomb. It took out half the city and turned him to glass. So that ain't a joke. That's strong.
But guys, just remember, there's water in the air. There's water in everything living. He can literally rip the water cells out of your body.
So he can dehydrate people and turn them into husks, basically. So suddenly he becomes from less of
Or
a...
he could drown them from their lungs. Because he could also multiply the water.
So he can manipulate water and his structure.
He could take the water cells. He could basically drown you.
Yeah. We get that.
There goes my gun.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Jeez, man, you're not giving yourself enough credit.
Okay,
He already gave himself a gigantic weakness at the beginning without realizing it, so...
Yeah.
So continue on with your water manipulating...
No, his weaknesses already.
What?
I purposely gave him weaknesses for a reason. Because if I didn't, he'd be unkillable. He'd only be trappable at that point.
Not so much, but continue.
Put him in basically a vacuum area. Trap him in a vacuum area. He's trapped.
Drop him in plasma and
That's like one of the ways.
Drop him in plasma and every one of his cells is broken down to carbon and he's gone. Remember, folks, plasma doesn't turn water into steam. It just breaks down water. It breaks down all molecules that touch it. But no, keep going. So your guy is trying to take over the world. He can control water, control his own genetic structure into becoming some form of water. So basically, he's very hard to pin down and kill.
And he can basically extend his limbs by turning parts of his limbs into water.
Okay.
So he can basically punch you from a block away.
Gobble, gobble, no, me! Just when I want to be taken down by deathgasm using Luffy's techniques from One Piece. What do I know? Whip! Ah! Into the wall! Alright. So, seeing as I can basically skip several of the questions I have to ask. For instance, I could ask how strong he is. But being able to manipulate water means he can also manipulate water pressure, which means he could just increase his strength exponentially. So we're already talking, you know, category 5 strength. Agility, he can literally transform his mass into any form of liquid. Water, ice, steam, and then propel himself, remove himself through oxygenated areas. So there goes agility. Endurance, he can literally just turn himself into water whenever you try to do a blow against him, and it wouldn't matter. So, I mean, I can skip that. And he already said he has the intelligence to take over the world, so he's at least Ra's al Ghul, or even, like, the Joker level intelligence.
Kingpin.
I would say you're smarter than Kingpin.
Based it off of Kingpin.
Yeah, but I'd say you're smarter than Kingpin. It takes a lot of thinking to take over the world.
Kingpin's one of my favorite. Personally, Kingpin is one of my favorite.
Well, yeah. As long as you're talking Kingpin, Wilson, Fisk. Then I agree with you. He's one of the greatest villains of all time. But he looks at the world as a business opportunity. He doesn't look at the world as taking it over. Ra's al Ghul, the Joker, Lex Luthor, those are the kind of villains with the intellect to take over the world. Okay. Is the house burning down?
I smell fire.
Oh, that's not a good sign. We smell fire. All right, so we do have to go into the questions. For instance, what is the reason he's trying to take over the world?
To have full control. He's not happy with the way things are run. Not happy with the way people are treated.
Okay. That's understandable. What kind of minions are you running, or are you a solo play?
Basically, his play is to manipulate and control high-value people to do his bidding.
Ah.
That's not funny.
So, presidents, congressmen, ambassadors.
I got you.
Basically, he gets something on all of them.
And then just controls them
To
from there.
manipulate.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, once again, we're going to go back to the big rule here, the biggest rule of all. Marvel and DC. What would it take to take you down? What if you were thinking somebody who could actually defeat you, if not kill you, contain you? What Marvel hero or what DC hero do you think would be able to do it? Like, what are you looking at as far as what it would take to call you out?
This is funny. That's funny.
I would have to say it'd have to be a couple.
Who?
Because someone would have to engineer a containment cylinder.
Yes.
Like basically make a vacuum this bottle that he can't get out.
Because
And
characters
someone would have to lure him into the bottle.
So yeah, it's not like we don't have enough of those characters. Jean Grey, Susan Storm, Professor Xavier. There's quite Stark, even possibly Batman. Although Batman had trouble capturing Fluid Man, and Fluid Man was a hero. So just throwing it out there, he had trouble holding Fluid Man.
I know because he said the time I could just cast a spell and put him in a bucket forever.
Well, once again, I'm just trying to figure out what level he would require. Because you ain't going to win a fist fight against him. Katanas ain't going to do anything. So, I mean, like,
the superhero I designed is basically his counter. So that would be like the one superhero that has the capability to kill him.
It's a good
Especially trap him.
It's a good thing we're talking superheroes and not supervillains. No, you're not, Jared.
Supervillains and not superheroes.
Well, just wait for it. Juggernaut. Hey, buddy. Are we moocha-luching this or what? You okay there, buddy? You need to go? You need to go, bro?
Yeah.
You do? Okay, man, listen, just take care, bro, okay? You look like you need a nap or something, dude. Seriously, I can vouch for it, okay? That's okay, man. Okay, man, just take care, okay, man?
Peace.
All right. He wasn't looking good. He was looking like he was hurting. Of course.
He's probably getting to him.
Well, yeah, I mean, he lives on the top floor of a freaking apartment building, so he's probably got to be scorching up there. All right, well, we'll get back to him later, but for right now, we'll jump into the next person in line, which, if I'm not mistaken, is me. So, I guess I could go with my villain. So, my villain is kind of strange. First of all, my villain isn't human. He's a creation of man. Not a robot or anything. He was actually created because of thoughts, wants, and desires. With the world being as corrupted as it is, enough people thought and wished that something happened. Something came of it. He goes by the name Scott Derman. He's a very kind individual. At least he appears to be. Let me set up a scenario for you, if I shall. Imagine, if you will, the top of an apartment complex. It's raining. There's a 12-year-old girl standing on the edge, ready to commit suicide, ready to jump off. She's beaten. Father came home drunk and beat her again. And her mom. Whooped them. She's getting ready to jump to end it all, and then she hears a door open. She turns around, and there in the middle of the room, in the middle of the roof, with nothing attached to it, is a door that's wide open. And a voice comes in. Michelle, your appointment has started. Please come in. She's confused, but she decides to walk into the appointment. It's a long, dark room, but she can see lights everywhere. There's people everywhere, but they don't seem right. There's something about them that's off. Not scary off or runaway off, but just something different. At the end of the hallway is another door, and on it says Scott Derman. She's led there by one of the people. The door opens up, and there's a silver-haired gentleman with almost like a goatee standing there in a pitch black outfit, a suit, and he has her sit down. And he says, "We know you're having problems. We're here to help you. All we need you to do is tell us what you want, and we will make it happen." She feels relieved. She feels like she could tell this guy anything. So she explains everything that's wrong. Mr. Derman says, I see. Well, what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to make sure that your father can never hurt another person again. Don't worry about that. I got that. Just sign this contract. And he hands her a contract. And she reads it over, and it says basically that he's going to stop her father from hurting anybody. Ever again. And she signs the contract. And she feels a little prick right on the back of her neck. She doesn't know why. She feels that there's nothing there. It says, all you owe me is a smile. Can you give me a smile now? For some strange reason, she can. She smiles this bright smile, and Mr. Derman smiles back, says, I'll deal with your problem. In fact, you know what? By the time you get back to your apartment, it will be solved. She doesn't know what's going on. She leaves the door, and the door closes behind her, and when she looks back, it's gone. She walks downstairs, and there's the apartment door. Something's off from the door, though. It's usually dented and banged in. She doesn't know what's going on. And she opens up the door, and there her mother and father are sitting on the couch, smiling and enjoying themselves. Where have you been, baby? And she has no idea what's going on. But she feels great. Something happened. And something feels different about her father, but she doesn't care. This is what she wanted all along. And it goes back to the office. And there, hanging from chains, is her father, with Mr. Derman smiling. Your daughter said we had to get rid of you. So what we're going to do is have you relive the worst possible life you could ever imagine, hundreds and thousands of times, and we're going to milk your energy for every dollar of it. And that's the last time they ever see her actual father, because the man who's down there in the apartment with her right now is some kind of fey clone, to be the best thing she can imagine. And little does she know that the contract she just signed killed off her actual father. This is the power of the Shadow Broker. He's a fae. For those of you that don't know what a fae is, that's a fairy. An extremely powerful fairy who uses magic to, well, bind contracts. He enjoys justice and peace. He enjoys bringing happiness to people. Sounds like a great idea, right? Sounds like a hero, doesn't it? Except he's not human, so he takes things at a little more of a face value kind of deal. For instance, you're a depressed, suicidal young woman or male, and something suddenly starts driving you crazier and crazier and crazier because your mother signed a contract with Scott to cure you of your depression. And he drives you so insane that as you go to commit suicide, you're drug into another dimension. You're placed into a casket where you restart life again and again and again. Each time your life gets better and better and better. And the real you goes back feeling great and wonderful, except it's not you. It's another fey clone. This is the fate of so many people who have run into Mr. Scott. You see, Mr. Scott enjoys helping everybody. And the best way to do it is to fix problems. And he's a problem solver. However, he's not the kind of guy that's going to talk you down off the cliff. He's not going to be the kind that helps your criminal empire. No. Don't get that wrong. He'll create the perfect thing to do that. Because as a fairy, he's not bound by the same mortal coil. Scott's strength is pretty much around an Olympian level. He's an athletic man. He doesn't have to be very strong. As far as endurance goes, he could run forever. He's basically made of magic. Not much can hurt him. You'll find out what his weakness is later on. As far as agility goes, Mr. Lenderman can basically just teleport if he chooses to. He's good at hand-to-hand combat, but he doesn't like to mussy his hands. He doesn't like to get angry. He has people do that for him. And as far as intelligence goes, Mr. Scott Lee Derman, by the way, it's spelled Nderman. The N is silent. Of course, if you look at the full name, you'd realize who he really was. Some people know him as Scott. Some people know him as Mr. Derman, but other people know him as Slenderman. Scott Lee Derman was created because of people creating Slenderman. Little did they know that they created a monster of epic proportions, and that the things that they talk about on the websites are just a drop in the bucket to the evil he's capable of. Scott does not like evil. He doesn't like evil. He doesn't like villains, and he definitely doesn't like heroes that aren't really heroes. He doesn't like liars. He doesn't like thieves. He doesn't like anything like that. In fact, just being around him, you will find that you cannot lie. It's a strange kind of thing. Scott has many allies. You'd be surprised how many people around the world... You'd be surprised how many people around the world are willing to vouch for Mr. Derman. Talking about how great he is, how he helped them with their problems, how he solved their relationships and their marriages, and how life has been great ever since. Little knowing that it was feeding him and his people all the time. You see, Scott feeds on emotional energy, like all of his followers. But his favorite type of energy is happiness. He loves happiness. And humans create happiness all the time. So do animals, but they don't use the energy. It just floats around. But the world's gotten pretty bad, so Scott, he has to step in and do some things he wouldn't normally do. He's been around for ages, but has just adopted a new persona every once in a while. The earliest mentioning of Scott was back in the 1400s. As a Fae, he is basically immortal. He cannot die. However, he can be contained quite easily. Scott is repelled by the similar things that will repel a Fae. Cold iron will repel him. Of course, people don't make cold iron anymore, so good luck finding it. And, of course, another thing he's really well known for is following contracts. If you write a contract with him, which means he has to be banished, he'll banish himself for up to 30 days, and for that 30 days, he will not come back. After that 30 days, though, you better believe he's coming for you. Scott runs with two groups of followers, besides the people who like him as friends. The first are called the Crew. These are other people that wear suits and walk around. They have silver hair. It seems to be a collective thing. However, there's certain things off with them. They might have a small set of bird wings on their head. Some of them might have claws. Some might have a tail. Some might have a robotic arm or two. This is because each one of these individuals was created by a different humanoid. I use the term humanoid because there have been visitors to the planet before, and a few of them look out of this world, winky face. Scott's not exactly going to win a fight against someone like Superman. He's definitely not going to win a fight against Wonder Woman, but he could easily curb stomp Batman. Individuals like Tony Stark and basically anyone who's an atheist has actually no power over him and have no ability to actually harm him. He can actually only be harmed by people who are faithful. So, if you are a person without faith, he does have a similar creation to Matt Murdock. He's easier to detain, though, and much nicer. You see, he's not about taking over the world. He's not about ruling the galaxy, and he's most certainly not about taking over a city. He's a problem solver. He wants the entire world to be happy by removing all the problems. His magical powers include things such as conjuration, or the ability to create things, illusions, enchantments. He's very skilled with modern firearms. In fact, he's skilled with all forms of weaponry and has pretty good martial arts talent. I'm not going to say he's super powerful as far as the martial arts go. It's kind of a hobby to the guy. He has an obsession with online video games, though. That's a side joke. That's a side joke. Usually found walking around with a Steam Deck or a DS or something at his desk. When he writes a contract with somebody, he usually gives them something that they have to pay back. But he does it first by looking into your heart. An example of it would be Supergirl. Supergirl actually once, according to the storyline of this universe, had a run-in with him after her adopted parents, were found out that her mother, which is Clark Kent's mother, was dying of cancer. And she had no way of solving it. Scott cured her. In return, 2 homemade apple pies were delivered to him. That's it. Seems pretty cut and dry, huh? However, the darker and more evil you are, the more fine lines and things you have to look for on the contract. Scott's favorite thing to do is to drive people insane and place them into special pods in a dimension known as the dream world. If you're a good-hearted person, you'll live several lifetimes enduring your favorite dreams and your best happiness. If you want to be isekai'd by an isekai truck, it'll happen in those dreams. And you'll live it over and over again. Each time. I was pointing at Sub when I said that, by the way. Each time a different life. But for some strange reason, you remember it. Each time, until finally your body is what's called purified. In which case, Scott relinquishes you to the closest deity that will take your soul. Just remember, in certain realms, there are way too many deities, in my personal opinion. You know, just saying, there's way too many gods and goddesses in certain realms. Just saying. You're not going to beat Scott with physical power. You're not going to beat Scott with magic. Those two things will not work. You can use cold iron, and you can use contracts. But he's not going to go out looking for trouble. That's not what Scott does. He has people to do that for him. And because I'm saying that, let me introduce his other side. The Enforcers.
So basically Sam and Dean Winchester could take him out, probably.
No. They couldn't. Unfortunately, there's a small problem with Sam and Dean, and that's the fact that they have no way of actually harming him personally. They have no way of actually stopping him. Cold iron doesn't kill him, it just repels him. The Enforcers, however, they're kind of different. The Enforcers aren't controlled by Scott, but they serve him almost religiously. They are a group of Fae that are all wholeheartedly into not only finding people for him, but also removing weapons and stuff from the world that could hurt him. If you're a person running around with a lot of cold iron, you might meet up with the Enforcers. Or you might not. They like to target evil people, sinister people, easy people, nice people, whoever could use Scott's help. They don't look like anything, though. That's the weird part. If you look directly at them, they don't look. It's like you're seeing something and nothing at the same time. They walk around in big hooded cloaks. Ironically, they look very similar to the villains from Kingdom Hearts 2.
Oh, okay. Nothing?
So if you want to stop Scott, you can write a contract with him. It's easy to do. If you want to repel him, use cold iron. In fact, one time Batman used a cold iron skeleton key to lock his office for 2 months. That wasn't nice. Scott didn't appreciate that. That was bad, Batman. And you paid for it with your legs. Anyway. What's Scott's main goal? He's great. What could stop him? Well, there is one character that comes to mind that could stop him. That would be Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange has several abilities that could counter his, several that could dispel his, but most of all, Doctor Strange is powerful enough with magic that he could probably banish him himself. That being said, once again, you can't banish him forever, and when he comes back, Scott's generally not happy. And that is Scott Lee Derman, the Shadow Broker. Necro.
Hello.
You're next, villain boy.
Okay.
So
Wait. Let me imagine. It's about a bald guy with a goatee with lots of money. That's actually a lot of villains. Believe it or not, folks, look it up. That is a lot of villains. That is too many villains, in my opinion. Yeah. Okay, continue, Nick. I'm sorry. I'm just saying, like, that's way too many villains have that power.
Pretty much a bunch of rich guys who have too much time on their hands.
Necro.
So once upon a time in the Marvel universe, there used to be Celestials.
Yep. For those of you who don't know, Celestials, they were almost godlike beings.
Yep.
Actually, weren't they considered gods? No, or those were the new gods.
Yeah, they were godlike beings.
Okay, sorry. Continue.
Well, once upon a time, the Celestials actually kicked out one of their members for being completely evil. Well, he wasn't completely evil at the time, but he wasn't going through their rules and regulations.
His name was Thanos. Senor Scrotum Chin. Sorry, Necro. I'm sorry. Go on. I'm sorry.
No, the name was actually the Shadow of the Nightmares.
Hell of a name.
So Thanos.
And I thought Scott Lee Durman was a long name. God damn
it. So he got kicked out because apparently there was a cult following of his, which became his minions.
Oh.
And that would be my supervillain. His powers are he can control your nightmares when you sleep. He can enter your mind and have telepathic abilities. He also uses your mind to find out your weaknesses.
So you're Freddy Krueger.
Yes.
You just named all his powers.
What? You are coming in very robotic at the moment. What were you saying?
Who?
Me?
Yeah.
That your guys kind of sounds like a child.
The baby of Thanos and Freddy Krueger.
Yes.
So he's got scrotum chin and scrotum face. Continue, Necro, continue.
He also got banished to his own realm because that was his punishment to live without his minions, and like they were kind of the way that he got his more powerful.
This is sounding an awful lot like Krueger. I'm sorry, man. It is.
I understand this.
Please go on. But, I swear if his weapon is a claw glove, I'm going to freaking jump through the screen and pound you, though. So you better not have that. He has a claw hammer instead. Okay, I'm cool with that. All
right. So for his abilities, as I said, he has telepathic abilities. He, while in the Nightmare realm, as the Celestials called it, he actually gained the ability to, if somebody's having a nightmare, be able to teleport out of that person's mind to be in the real world.
Well, that's pretty twisted.
Basically, don't agree.
But when he originally started doing this, then his cult actually had some kind of mind ability to detect him. So they realized if they have nightmares, he can come back.
And lo and behold, Justin Bieber was born.
So, I mean, for his main abilities, as I said, telepathy, the ability to make portals out of people's minds, and his own minions now, since they realize what to do, he has become a master of magic through the ability of going through so many other magicians, like Doctor Strange's mind and Scarlet Witches,
Santana,
and everything like that. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
So he actually learned a lot of magic through his time, and he doesn't really go much. Like, he is a very physically strong being because, of course, being a celestial, they can never strip him of his powers.
Right. So all Celestials are like pretty strong. They're not. They're not like quite as strong as a full-fledged god. Like if Odin took on a Celestial, he'd kick the shit out of it. But Thor can still lose to him.
Right.
But okay, so that's how strong he is. He's around Thor grade level power, which by the way is pretty fucking strong. That's on par with Superman, making him currently the second physically strongest character in this group. What about endurance? Is he pretty endurance? Is he pretty hard to take down? He's gonna last long in a fight?
Yes, because with the knowledge of him being able to teleport in and out of people's minds, his minions pretty much half of them always stay asleep in the nightmare state, so he always has a way out.
He always has a way to escape. Okay. He's a coward. Good to know. Anyways, agility-wise, other than teleporting to and from nightmares, what is he on the battlefield?
I mean, physically he's just like a normal walking person, but he does have the ability to conjure magic, to, like, to say, nightmare teleport, like,
That's why I said skipping over the teleportation. Like, is he like a Thanos speed level?
Well, he has the ability to fly.
Well, right, but I'm just trying to judge how fast he is, you know.
Say, like, Silver Surfer, kinda.
Silver Surfer! You mean the second fastest character to exist in the universe? Okay, that's pretty fucking fast.
Yeah.
Seriously. Only Kronos is faster than that. And Kronos is a fucking titan. Alright. Intelligence. Obviously, he's pretty effing smart.
Yes, he is very smart, and through the decades of millenniums, actually, of being alive and going through people's minds, he's gained so much knowledge. He's pretty much a super genius at this point.
I'm surprised he hasn't got a little woohoo after all these years. Alright, so his followers are fanatics, obviously. They keep themselves asleep so he can teleport to them so they can view nightmares and stuff like that. So what is this villain's purpose? What is his goal? Why is he a villain? Why is he evil?
Because
did Mama not give him enough hugs?
He wanted to destroy all the Celestials and bring an end to their reign of, like, guidance throughout the universe. To have it kind of go into chaos.
So now we have Darkseid as well. Okay, good to know. He's Thanos, Darkseid, and Kruger all in one. Okay, there's a twisted monster right there. All right. So he's just
what that looks like.
a scrotum chin, a scrotum forehead, and really, really bad eyes, like pink eye level. So what you're saying, he's basically just a freaking jerk. Like there's nothing about him. He's just a jerk.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. So he's Necro Nick. All right. All right, now we get to the part that everyone loves. Yeah, Now we get to the part where everyone loves it. So obviously he has his own universe, so we don't even have to talk about that. So, what would it take to bring this bad boy down? Like a Philly cheesesteak?
Well,
if I had to choose between invincibility and a Philly cheesesteak, I might not be invincible very long. Just gonna say. Throwing it out there, a good Philly cheesesteak or being invincible, that's tempting.
Well, technically, he never actually been smart enough to teleport any of his fanatics over to his own dimension. So, pretty much killing off them would reduce his power to nothing to make him pretty much stop his reign.
Okay, so what you're saying is the way to defeat him is to go throughout the galaxy and find these regular Joes who probably aren't running around in red hoods screaming, "We're here for the demons," and murder them all off. Well, that's...
Actually, they are always having nightmares. So you pretty much tell them out of the crowd, and plus they are nearly generalized within South America.
Oh, interesting.
Right. Now, what superhero could take him down?
Oh, I mean, Superman definitely could. Odin, of course.
So you're talking god tier threat.
Yeah.
Okay, so Batman ain't gonna do shit.
Oh, Batman's dead. Fuck yeah, that's what. And motherfucker, I'm gonna make him wish he was dead.
And then Iron Man, probably not either. Your World Breaker Hulk, maybe. So that level, that's pretty strong.
Yes.
All right. Now, Professor Slow-Mo. Would you like to step up to the ring?
Hold on. Let me open my book.
By the way,
I'll be right back. I gotta go check on the dogs.
Okay. I feel the most irony of this is the fact that he calls himself Professor Slow-Mo, yet out of all the monsters in gaming, he was finished first.
Well, actually his name was Dr. Time Warp.
Oh, sorry, Dr. Time Warp. Let's do the time warp again. It's just a jump to the left.
Alright, so the attributes would be warp in space.
Okay.
Warp in space, time, and the mind.
Sorry, I was doing the time warp again. Mulberry yelled at me. Okay, so he can control and warp space and time. That's pretty effing powerful, dude. Like, that's... There's only like a handful... There's only like a handful of characters who can even imagine doing that. What was that, Skynet?
His mindset... I said he doesn't use his powers willy-nilly.
Okay.
He's kind of like how you are. How your supervillain is, kind of. We'll see. Alright, so the reason being evil is basically, but unfortunately,
he lived a life where people were constantly betraying him, people were constantly being mean, he saw how dirty and disgusting the world was, and he wanted to fix it.
I've seen how true it is, yeah. But it's just that it was already kind of said before from somebody else's backstory. I was seeing if I could twist the words a little bit. But I'm just gonna read on. I'll save that one for later. The arch nemesis is Blackheart, a self-proclaimed hero who thinks they're doing good for others, but really is making things worse. The backstory is downtrodden on my luck and tired of seeing many people being abused and treated like trash and seeing the world for what it truly is. With the powers I came to notice over time, not like I was born with it, I noticed it over time. I decided to slowly master my abilities by solving small issues at first and testing out by mostly illegal operations to upstart my plan. I slowly moved up to bigger and better things, like robbing the entitled and who I felt was worthy of, robbing their past and everything from, depending on how I felt that day. That's why I have multiple powers. It's not like, I could use it, like, it has to go off of emotion, basically. That's how the powers are controlled. That's one of the weaknesses, in a sense.
Okay. Yep, robbing people from the past, present, and future.
Right. And I could basically place whatever it is. Is that my,
I was reading along with you. I was reading along, bro.
And when I say robbing, I don't mean just robbing their past or future. I can also rob them of their mind if I feel they deserve it.
Okay.
I guess I'll read this part where, since you're gonna ask me anyways, the henchmen are other like-minded villains that would want to give payback to those that deserve it or feel like they've been wronged by.
Okay.
Could be heroes as well. That's the point. Like it doesn't matter. I will kill if I have to, but if I don't have to, I could just change whatever I want.
Okay. So let's go down the magical 6 questions real quick. Hiya, hiya, hiya. Okay. Question 1: how physically strong is your character?
I'd say a little above average, not too much. In all honesty.
So fit, like a fit character.
Yeah, like a fit character.
Okay. How about endurance? How long can you last in a fight? Would you rather run away? I mean, how strong are you, like, taking a hit?
Now,
is a baseball bat behind the knee going to stop you?
I don't know if I'd honestly be in any fight because depending on what power I could use at that moment could change the whole thing anyways. Like, if I was able to control attacks, I could just make my problem disappear before it even happened.
Okay.
Or if I could control the future at that time, then I could just basically make it so I win the fight anyways quickly.
If I told
I could just walk away.
If I told you to do 12 miles, if I told you to do 2 miles in 12 minutes, could you? And Skynet took
I mean, like I said, I'm average, like I'm a little average, but I'm above average. So not really.
Athletic in all categories. So athletic in all categories.
I would definitely be under Olympics, but not too far.
That's what I'm
like
saying.
Maybe
fit.
in the middle of average and Olympics, like in the middle.
Fit, athletic, somewhere in there.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't expect anyone. I wouldn't expect anyone to be obese and unable to walk. You know, although there are villains that are like that. There are some villains like that are pretty nasty fighters. Okay, well, intelligence. You seem like you were going to be a somewhat intelligent individual, or at least charismatic.
I'd basically be more charismatic than intelligent, but I'd be like right under genius. I don't want to be too smart, but at the same time, I want the intelligence to know what I'm doing. And because I'd have to be smart about how I mess with things, because it could come back to affect me as well if I do it wrong.
Ah, right. All right, so, well, that's hers now. So, since we already heard about your minions, your reason for it, and all that, we'll go to the final question. Once again, we got Marvel and DC on the line. They're both on the phone. Who or what would it take to put down Professor Slow-Mo? Dr. Time Warp, I know. Skynet, could you let him go so he can answer the question, damn it? Welcome back. Now? Yeah, we can hear you now. Welcome back.
Okay. What part did you hear?
I did.
Nothing.
Nothing? Okay, so basically anyone that could affect time, like Superman, The Flash, basically anyone that could affect time.
Okay.
Yeah, Doctor Strange, yeah. They could all definitely like my ass, basically.
Alright, well, I mean, at least he's
being probably some supervillains. If I crossed them wrong, they probably could do it too.
Well, there's like Professor Zoom and Dormando who are capable of it too, but that's fine.
Yeah. Right.
You're not.
So that's a pretty decent movement.
You're kind of like the first one of us who isn't like a murderous sociopath, too. To be honest with you. I mean, just throwing it out here. I mean, you'll kill if you have to. Meanwhile, in the friggin' Deathgasm lair, the Necronick Nightmare Land, or the I'm going to kill you by putting you into a tube and sucking out your essence and replacing you. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. They definitely make it so you never existed.
Well, right, but you don't have to if you don't have to. You know?
Right.
There's nothing wrong with being that way, damn it. Seriously, people underestimate the villains that are like that. Seriously. The only person the Riddler ever tries to kill is Batman. Other than that, he's just robbing banks. I mean, he's not even... He's poultry. Batman doesn't even have to fuck with him. Look at Catwoman. The only reason she gets away is because of her arse.
True, yeah.
Just being completely honest with you. And no offense, I'm sure she's very good looking and attractive, but she runs around in that super tight air-fitting or skin-tight leather. When she takes that off, that is not going to be a kind smell coming out of there. Throwing it out there.
Oh, by the way, the height is about like 4 or 5. Like 4 to 5 feet.
Okay. It depends if Scott's in his true form or not. Scott's usually like 5'8". You don't want to see him in his true form.
I do have to ask, who's the tallest villain here? Because
if you want to get technical, I'd say regularly you're probably the tallest one of us at 6'11". If Scott goes into his actual form, though, Scott's probably the tallest one out of all of us.
Honestly, I disagree.
You disagree?
Water manipulation. I can turn into any size possible.
We're talking standard form, buddy. We're talking your regular height.
Yeah.
You know, not manipulating your body.
Form is basically water. He could integrate water spacers in his freaking leg to give him an extra 3 foot if he wanted. That's like a normal person.
Let me ask you this. What height are you normally going to walk around as?
Normally I'd probably walk about 6'3".
So as you can see, regular form, K-Man is the tallest one of us. If you want to Deathgasm, you're one 6-year-old girl's dream away from being stuck in a small padded cell with my power. Think about that, okay? Just think about that. You're as tall as you want, but somebody could write a contract with me and I could turn you into a squeeze toy for a dog.
Well, we already know what my weaknesses are, too, right?
Well, I mean, other than a bullet, anyone else who can manipulate time, you know? Like, I could probably, like, Necro could probably try to crush you with his hand and then you would just rewind time so you could avoid it. You know, Deathgasm could try to rip you in half like a telephone book and you would just rewind time. You know, once again, much like Deathgasm, you're not going to be beaten in a fist fight unless it instantly kills you.
Right.
Like I said, a sniper round to the forehead, I don't think you're going to be coming back from that. But if Deathgasm tries to fill your chest cavity with water, you're suddenly sitting on your couch watching, you know, Friends the day before going, well, how am I going to fix this problem? Just saying. Like,
I'm going to watch the stream.
I'm going to watch the stream and find out his weakness. Let me see this here real quick. All right, we only have 2 left, so let's move on to the next one, shall we? The Rebel Vanny, or should I just call you by your villain name, Nightingale?
Ooh, I like that.
Hey, Deathgasm.
No, actually, I have some.
Is that from Tintin?
Hey, Deathgasm. She sent me a list of her powers, too. You weren't the only one.
I actually got inspired by a Batman fan fiction I was writing at one point.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
And just you waiting to find out what she actually is. Holy crap. That's a twisted family line you got running there, Nightingale. Woo!
Yes.
And I thought being creative with people's wants and desires was bad. Jiminy crickets. I wouldn't want to see what her playpen looked like.
Okay. So my villain's powers is she can mimic pretty much any singing voice ever, and she's also very, like super acrobatic.
All right.
Okay.
Her backstory is she is the daughter of Joker and Harley Quinn that was adopted by Bruce Wayne.
And good night, everybody.
Okay.
That's her family. That's her family there. Like, oh, hello. How you?
Yeah. Bruce tried to persuade her to join Batman.
But she changed her mind and decided to start following her parents. And her actual parents when she finds out who they are.
Batman? No.
You know, Batman has this tendency of adopting random children and throwing them into dangerous competitions. Just saying, he's pretty villainous. Pretty villainous, just saying.
Come on, Nikki. I'm going off a little bit of what I actually sent you, Kaiju, because I've changed a few things.
Okay, well, I can.
She's with following in her parents' footsteps, she has the smarts of Harley Quinn, but the sadistic mind of the Joker.
I don't like that. Yeah. I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
That's like saying, you know, they're as smart as Tony Stark, but as unpredictable as Deadpool. You don't want that combination.
Yeah.
That's a no. That's a no on the scale. Okay.
So, I also even went into detail with how she looks. She's going to be about probably Harley Quinn's body type.
But with
long
black hair and pale skin.
So a gothic version of Harley Quinn, gotcha.
Pretty much.
You have my vote.
But her outfit, that is nasty, Necro.
You expect.
Her outfit is
right there with you.
It is a skin-tight white and brown suit that when she extends her arms, feathers come out so she can glide across the sky.
My little glider suit.
She's a nightingale.
She can put on a nice show.
You know what though?
Alright, guys, get it all out now before September.
Yeah, before the 1st, get it all out.
Yeah, but you can also turn around and sound like your mother singing.
Oh! Oh God! No! No!
Yeah.
My mother don't think so.
Just what I want, to be having sex with her and suddenly she starts sounding like my grandmother. No. No, that would stop it right there. Nope, done. She went from good looking to terrifying just like that. Alright, I'm done. Necro, on the other hand, is still winking because he's got things with incest.
Her reasoning behind going bad is she wants to pretty much get back at Batman for stealing the childhood that she thinks she should have had with her actual parents.
Meanwhile, the parents that dumped her on the street, they're grade A people, ain't they?
Yeah.
So the Joker actually has sex with a woman? That's surprising. I thought he was gay. I thought him and Batman were fucking each other.
Oh, she's average height.
For where? Korea? Because apparently it's 6'11" there.
She's pretty much the same height as Harley.
Okay.
So she's Harley's daughter.
It doesn't. Both my parents are shorter than me and don't look anything like me. Anyways, all right. So let's go through the power, shall we? How physically strong is she?
Strong enough to stand up against Batman with her own, but not strong enough to defeat Superman.
Okay, so she's at least athletic level. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
How about her agility? Oh wait, never mind. Her agility is superhuman, so she got superhuman agility.
Yeah.
She probably now. What about endurance? How many hits can she take? Is she like the Joker and can just take hit after hit after hit? Like
she's along the lines of that.
So just like when Batman's constantly pounding the Joker, just takes it, takes it.
And she'll laugh. She'll laugh as she takes those hits.
It'll be time to hear the
Intelligence-wise, where's the brain here?
How are you taking it?
What? What? Someone's got a dirty mind tonight.
Hey, throw fucker.
Okay, anyway, there we go right there. There goes our PG-13 level right there. Boop, okay. Rebel. Okay, how intelligent is she?
Get all out now
Right.
Later.
I ain't against it, I'm just saying. All right. So how intelligent is she? Is she like... I was like,
I don't know how you're going to do that 30 days of streaming, bro.
I'm going to start by muting anyone who can't listen.
We're keeping it clean.
I bet 5 bucks that Necro won't be able to.
Oh, don't put money down. Don't put money on him.
Who's a betting person here?
So does she have any kind of sidekicks or anything?
Maybe I shouldn't be a part of these streams. I'll just donate my share of being a good person for that. Because I know I'm not going a month without making a sick joke.
Hi, I'm Coyote JK, and if you've joined us, we've gone so far off the rail, we're not getting back on apparently. Hi. Can we get back?
I was going to say, I have to take an at you guys, but I do have one important question for Kaiju K. Are you going to set up like a PayPal or like someone would put like donations towards this charity event?
Yeah, when we get closer to the first, we'll download the program. So while we're doing the live streams, there will be a place on the map where you can click to donate. I don't care. You can donate 2 cents. I don't give a dang. My goal personally is to try to get at least $1. They want at least 300. If we can make at least $1, I'll smile. If we make 300, I'll be ecstatic. And if we make anything past that, I will probably be crying on camera. So, if you want to see Kaiju K cry joy, go for it.
I'll try to send American currency your way. If I'm not able to watch all the streams, but I'll make sure some donations get away, okay?
Dude, it's fine. We're just grateful that you're here, man, all right? We enjoy your company. You're a great member, man, dude. All right?
Thank you. And I do enjoy the streams. It's the first day I watched it till now. It's a lot of fun.
No problem, K-Man. You're welcome to them whenever you can, all right, man?
Thanks. Have a good night, guys.
You too. Peace out, man.
Good night.
Okay. K-Man, he's a good guy. I like him. And apparently he works with Necro, so Necro can vouch for it. So, do you have like a sidekick or any kind of like minions that are working with you, or are you a solo act?
Solo.
Holy crap.
I thought there would be another partner. Yeah.
There's a...
No.
The first solo cast...
That's fine. I can still eat a girl out.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
anyway. We're talking Marvel DC. Who would be the best chance to take down Nightingale?
Probably Black Canary.
Well, I don't know. If she can mimic singing voices, which is what Black Canary's ability basically is, then couldn't she copy her own ability and use it against her? Like,
Yeah.
I
didn't think about that.
Yeah. Just saying, like, if she can mimic any type of singing, then she could mimic that, you know?
I mean, technically with her endurance, she probably would be up there with, like, the Wonder Woman category of being able, like, Wonder Woman taking her down.
Right, but physically, she's as strong as, like, Batman. So, like, Wonder Woman might be a little on the overkill department.
But I'm saying with the endurance...
She snapped a septibus in half with her thighs. Pretty sure we don't want Harley's daughter going up against a woman who can quite literally bend you like a pretzel while reading a magazine in her other hand. People don't understand.
Eating a girl out and then your face gets crushed.
Dumb ways to die.
So many times.
I want that to happen. That's how I want to go out in life.
That's considered crushing, right? It's better.
Yeah, that's a fetish, dude. Called crushing.
Anyways, we have one more up on the list here. And that would be our very own Mother Maxine. Or should I call her Grandma Ray?
Or Granny Goodness.
Or Granny Goodness.
Oh, isn't that from next door?
It's similar to another villain from the Teen Titans. You're thinking Mother May I.
No, Codename Kids Next Door. There's literally a villain on there called Granny Goodness.
No, that's Grandma Stuffums. The big heavyset lady that creates living food, that's Grandma Stuffums.
Oh.
Don't you throw away villains. I know heroes and villains. No. That's Grandma Stuffums. She creates living food. Aww. Oh, okay. So,
I think I gotta show the cuteness.
Thank you, Grandma Goodness. What are you capable of? What do you bring to the table?
Well, she's by day this sweet little old lady who loves to knit.
So by day she's some sweet old lady that loves to knit, but by night she becomes Bat Grandma.
Chris,
Kaiju.
Yes.
Kaiju.
Yes.
Granny Goodness is a DC character.
That's fine. We can have more than one. You think the Flash is the only character known as the Flash?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, here's Superman's free.
Yeah. What about Miss Marvel? How many Miss Marvels are there? How about this? Yeah, what about Captain Marvel? Captain Marvel was originally a character that wasn't part of Marvel.
Yep.
So, yeah. You were saying?
Her main thing is the blankets that she makes.
Okay.
She basically uses them to imprison children and whoever else that she deems fit.
Okay. So she uses magical blankets to grab children, anyone she feels fit. It kind of puts them to sleep and mobilizes them. Stasis field kind of deal.
That sounds like Boogeyman. Like the mix of Vikings. Boogeyman.
Okay. So why does she do it? Why does she do it? Orcs. Why is she evil? Why is she doing this stuff?
Why is she doing this stuff? I'm not even sure.
So she's just crazy. She just creates blankets and captures kids and people. Okay. So she's like joke.
May call her the crazy blanket lady.
The crazy blanket lady is another nickname she goes by.
Okay.
So let's go through the list. Is she like senior citizen as far as strength goes, or?
She's kind of up there with Superman and.
Yo, watch out for the senior citizen. She can go toe to toe with Superman.
She's a.
Okay, here's what I see.
My character fighting.
She's a skilled warrior.
I got
How about endurance? What are we talking endurance-wise? Are we talking she can be taken down with a bullet, a baseball bat, or a bomb? Or are we talking she needs, like, epic levels of death to kill her?
That I'm not really too sure on.
Okay, so we'll put that as a question mark. How agile is she?
She's not very agile because of her age.
Well, she can throw a punch that drops Superman. Okay, her age is kind of a moot point at this point.
Yeah, she doesn't move very well, but she can.
Okay, so she's slow mobility wise, but you don't want to take a hit from her. How about intelligence?
Right.
Is she super intelligent, or is she? Okay, she's very intelligent. How intelligent would you say she is? Like super genius level, or just very smart?
She's just very smart. She has the capabilities to use technology and.
Wow, she's a step above you then. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Oh, to start.
Okay, fine. I'm done. I gotta start. So she's pretty intelligent. She's not quite like on par with like Kingpin levels of intelligence, but she knows her way around technology and all that stuff. We have no.
Is her secondary weapon a chancla?
Don't get us started. Would you want her to throw a chancla with the power of Superman at you? No.
Yes.
Of course. You'd hit them so hard they would just explode.
Get in the blanket.
Get in the blanket. Now, I want to talk for a second about her minions. The first thing you have to understand is she's not human. All right? She's not a human creature. She doesn't know what the hell she is, but she's not human. She can't even tell what she is anymore. She has an army of creatures that resemble, get this, teddy bears. And these teddy bears are what do they do? They track down people, they explode, they squirt ketchup out of their mouths. I mean, there's lots of things these things can do. I don't know.
But they have the ability to track and locate the target for Granny.
Ah, okay, so the teddy bears are for tracking down people she's going to wrap up in her blanket and take away. But here's the thing, she doesn't do it with rhyme or reason, so predictability's right out the window. She just targets people that she just grabs, wraps up, and protects. She's like a super kidnapper. Except she could probably turn you into yarn if she pulled you tight enough. All right. Now, as y'all know, there's always a step 2 or a part 2 to one of these.
Of course there is.
All right. Well, there is. There always is. There has to be. It's just if not, it's like me talking normally without me looking like I'm speaking in a Japanese foreign film. So we could go down the list of seeing what would happen if each one of us took down the other one, in which case there are certain contenders that are, well above the capabilities of others. Not for nothing, but Miss Nightingale is designed to fight people on the same level as Batman, and none of us are on the level of Batman. Every one of us, including Subliminal for a reason or two, are well above that power grade. So if we're talking about overall power, we have to kind of take Nightingale and wrap her up in a blanket and then put her in the dream realm. However, just remember that Nightingale would probably be the most popular out of us. Just throwing that one out there. Nightingale would... Okay. Now, if we're looking at overall physical strength, like absolute brutality, I think Deathgasm probably wins. Not for anything, but the ability to control water pressure infinitely means he could literally hit you with infinite strength.
Right.
Next up on the list would probably be Necro. And then we would probably... Let's see here. Technically, if Subliminal used his powers in a certain way, he'd probably be next on the list. Necro would probably be... What?
But I'm more on par with you.
Well, let me explain to you why I think you're stronger than my character. Physically. You have the ability to manipulate time itself. Now, that doesn't sound like much at first, but there's an ability called the Infinite Mass Punch, which was performed by a character known as the Flash. And what he does is he basically speeds up the molecules in his hand and hits. You have the ability to control time itself, which means you could, in theory, use the same technique. I can't. Now, I'm not saying I couldn't smack Superman around for a little bit. Me and him would be... no, I'm not. I'm just kidding. I'm not that strong. I'm enduring. I'm not that strong. But if we want to go at overall strength, I am just above where Nightingale is, with Mama Bear above me, as far as pure strength goes. After all, Mama Bear's strength is comparable to Superman. But the infinite mass punch that the Flash hit Superman with one time literally punched him 3/4 across the galaxy. That's a hell of a hit.
Could you imagine me and Flash going against each other?
That would be interesting, except the Flash has a single ability that would give him the Flash has the ability to steal time from other people.
Hey, Cody.
Cody, what you doing back
What do
there?
you mean, steal time?
You may not know about this, but one time, no pun intended, the Flash had an alternate version of Kid Flash running around causing trouble and mayhem. So in order to stop him, he literally used the Time Force, which he has the ability to control, to remove all of his time / momentum from him. Literally robbing him. He just exists in history. He's still alive, and he's actually in a museum. But he's still alive. He can see everything, but he sees everything at like 1/1/4 of the speed. He literally he can literally steal time from people. He doesn't like to do it. He's only ever done it once, but he doesn't like to do it. Sub here has yeah. Now let's go as far as endurance goes. We can actually take two characters out of this equation immediately. We can take Mama Bear, and we can take Nightingale out of this equation. I feel that Nightingale is probably a little more enduring than Granny Goodness over there, but that's because of, age. As far as endurance goes, I have to say, and I'm not trying to be uppity with this, but I'd have to say that I'm probably the most enduring character here. There's actually no way to physically or mentally or magically harm me. So, I mean... Oh, I'm sorry. I would say that Nightingale would be just below the Oni from Caveman. I forgot about him. The next person on the list would be actually probably be a tie between Sub and Deathgasm. Deathgasm, well, you're not going to win a fight punching him. You're not going to win a fight shooting him, and you're sure as hell not going to win a fight setting him on fire. Deathgasm's just going to transform himself into a different form of liquid. So, good luck on that. However, what's worse than that is Sub, where if you hit him, he's just going to rewind time until the point where you missed him. Kind of gives him a huge edge. Coming next would, of course, be God tier power level Necro, who could probably get pitched through a couple asteroids, but could probably get back up. And then we have the trio of Granny Goodness, Nightingale, and the Oni. And they all seem to be roughly around the same power level as far as defense goes. Agility time, everybody. Yay! The winner for agility goes to Subliminal. Why, you might ask? Controls time. That's it.
Makes sense.
I mean, no offense to the rest of us, but controls time. Next up, I would definitely throw Deathgasm into the ring as being the next most agile. Once again, can alter his form into any form of liquid. Can be kind of hard to get some guy into a chokehold when he can then turn himself into something that puts you into a chokehold. You might be able to jump over a building, but he can literally go higher than that. Necro, of course, is one of the new gods himself. He's a celestial, so that means he's already fast as hell. The remaining level would be going to myself, because other than teleportation, I'm athletic speed at best. Then we'd probably have Mrs. Nightingale, who literally claims she's got superhuman agility. The only reason I put her above Oni is she's much shorter than Oni. That might not sound like much, but it's a lot easier to hit a 5 foot. It's a lot harder to hit a 5'6" person than to hit a 6'11" person. 6'11" is, that's 8 inches taller than me. That's 2 inches. That's 5 inches shorter than Vargo. I mean, that's big gap. Vargo not known for his agility. Then we would definitely have to go with the Oni, and last but not least, Mama Bear, who's literally claimed that her character is a senior citizen. Quite literally has claimed her character of her race is a senior citizen. So we don't need her to bust a hip. Just don't take a punch from her. Just don't take a punch from her, okay? Just stay away from that. Next up, we have Intellect, and for once, I know the winner right out back. It's Necro. Necro's backstory literally states that he's been surfing people's minds for millenniums. That's thousands of years. My guy's been around for 400 years. He's not that smart. So Necro's definitely winning the battle as far as intelligence goes. After that, I would probably have to say it would probably be a tie between Deathgasm, Subliminal, and Oni. You guys have big ambitions. You guys have big ambitions, huge ambitions. You guys are about taking over the world. I mean, or stealing all the world and making it a better place. That's huge. That doesn't take. You can't be an idiot to do that. You got to be pretty intelligent to do that. Just below that, I would have to say that it would probably be Harley Quinn's daughter, aka Nightingale, and Grandma Goodness. One of them has the intelligence of a super genius like Harley Quinn, and one of them has untold years of knowledge. However, they both have insanity on their side, so that's kind of holding them off. That actually puts my character as the dumbest character of the group. But there's a reason for it. My character doesn't look at the world the same way humans do. I look at the world the way Fae do. We don't need much intelligence. We just do our job. We don't understand the things like guilty or innocent. We don't understand the things like 5 to 10 years behind bars. That's not our job. We're gonna do it our way. Flip a coin. You're dead. As far as world goals go, this is actually a surprise, but I'm actually going to give the creepiest world goal to Mama Bear Maxine. Yeah, she's going to win this one. Grandma Goodness doesn't know why the hell she's doing this crap. She's just bagging people up and taking them to another dimension to protect them. She doesn't even know why. She's literally kidnapping people at random. It's like some twisted game. It's like some weird game of Twister. She just spins the dial. Who's wearing green shoes today? Grab him with the... After that, I would have to say I would be going with Deathgasm. Deathgasm is literally trying to take over the world. The only person who ties with him is Oni, who's trying to take over the world with the power of, I'm going to fuck your mind while we drink tea. That's pretty fucking twisted, alright? Deathgasm's going to sit in the shadows, and if you don't do what he likes, you're going to drown. Like, in the middle of the desert, he's going to fill your lungs with water and watch you die. That's pretty twisted. He made himself twisted. I'm just saying, like, he could have just been some dude who puppets people from the shadows. Nah, his power is I'm an evil version of the Wonder Twins. Wonder Twins powers activate. Form of the tiger, form of a tidal wave. I just kills people. Just saying, like. From there, it actually starts getting a little different, though, because as far as villains go, the villainy actually kind of drops off from there with the remaining characters. Sub's trying to do it to make the world an equal place. He wants people to have equal opportunity, even if that means killing people who don't believe with him. That's pretty twisted, but on the other hand, pretty honorable. Necro is off flying through space going, you're having a nightmare, I'm going to go visit you today. Whee! And then nightmare intensifies, you know? He's not really killing people. He's just fucking with your dreams. He's pissing people off. But if he wanted to, he could take the bed and fold you up like an accordion. If he feels like it. And then you have Nightingale, who's off doing crimes like her mother and father, which means murdering people, torturing people. All kinds of wonderful things on that twisted level.
Just because.
And then you have myself. We're all tied in the same book. What am I doing? I'm giving people what they want. In the most literal way possible. No complicated stories, just fixing. You got a problem? You got a person calling you problems? Well, I'm going to replace him with one of my clones. Take the other person and put him in a coffin, and so he'll spend the rest of his life being tortured until he has no more evil in his soul. Yeah, that sounds like a good guy, right? Right? No? Didn't think so. Now, we could also go for the part where I say, hey, who thinks they could beat everybody else? So let me end that subject really quickly. No problem with y'all. No offense to y'all. But 99.9% of the modest of gaming villains right now could be killed by Deathgasm. Just throwing it out there.
I wouldn't be able to kill kaijus or subs.
Well, if you could kill Sub instantly, you could. Sub has to...
Yes, honestly, I could. I could kill Sub instantly if I did a high-pressure blast right through the skull.
Well, right, like I'm saying, you could kill everyone.
But that's if he didn't see it coming, but his power works on an instant, so even if I'm a centimeter away from touching his head...
Well, the thing is that he also said that it's based on emotions. So the more worked up and angry he is, the more powerful it becomes. But if you catch him while he's chilling, Netflix and chilling, you could probably get him.
Yeah, maybe.
He's got a bit of bud in his hand. He's watching Netflix. Dude, you look like you're made of water. Like, just saying, like, you're made of water. Dude, you're made of water. Okay. That happened. So, like I said, like, if you wanted to go a power level, well, we could just look at it that way. Right now, he could kill all of us. I could kill everybody but myself. And then it would probably go down to Necro, then Sub, and Oni, Nightingale, and then finally Mama Bear, because she's not actually killing anybody. She's not killing people, literally. She's just wrapping them up in really nice warm blankets and taking them to her dimension where she can protect them for all time, Kind of a twisted version of the Collector from that movie, The Collector.
Exactly.
Just make sure that when you go into your office or wherever your hideout is, you don't have a teddy bear sitting there staring at you. I would suggest fire. Deathgasm would wet the bed. He would escape by wetting the bed. He would turn into water and escape the blanket. He would wet the blanket. I could just picture the look on Grandma Goodness after he did it. Like, oh, you poor dear, you wet the blanket. And he's like, no, that's half of me. Just punches her. They're extra absorbents. Run! Run, Deathgasm, run!
Could you imagine some of the sick and twisted things my supervillain could do?
Yes, I can.
He can literally blow up your bladder inside of you.
You don't gotta worry about that. I
just realized that.
I drink green tea all the time. My bladder already explodes. You don't gotta worry about that. Yeah, I realize that. You could do all kinds of twisted things. You could literally walk up to somebody and dry them out. Not enough to kill them.
The moisture in your eyeballs.
I just turn them to dust.
I could make people suffer internally.
Right.
Like I could just constantly dehydrate, rehydrate.
Yep. You could keep them at a level where they weren't quite dry enough to be dead, but not quite enough moist enough to be alive. Meanwhile, Necro over there is going, I'm going to make your nightmares horrible. I'm introducing you to Justin Bieber. It's a good thing Faye don't sleep. And then you got... Actually, Faye can't sleep. They're made of magic. They could sleep if they wanted to, but they don't really dream or anything. Like I said, like, the worst you could do is beat me up physically, and even then I would just be like, all right, so you want to do a contract or what? Yo, my Steam deck is charged. Either write a contract or I'm leaving. All right, I'm leaving. Just walk away, open up the door, close it behind me, you open up the door, and it just leads to an apartment building or something like that. Like, what the hell?
Actually, I think I may have figured out a way to beat your villain.
Okay.
I'm not sure how Fays really work, but their contracts come true, like how you word it, right?
Right, but you have to remember that you only write half of it. I write the other half.
So if I turned you mortal, would that be a what?
Well, yes, however, you'd have to read the contract very carefully. You see, I'm the one who writes the contract. You just tell me what you want to do. So you can say, I want you to turn mortal for, say, 24 hours, and I can go, all right. And then you go to sign it, and then suddenly you become a small puddle of water for 24 hours because somewhere in the contract states that you just become a puddle of water and can't move for 24 hours. The other thing is, once a Fae dies, they just return to magic. Even if I was mortal, I would just return to magic. Now, don't get me wrong. You could do something like, say, like I said, a perfect example would be Batman, who, by the way, is just a mortal dude, stopped me for 2 months with a skeleton key in a door lock. If you could drag me down to the bottom of the Mariana Trench where there's no way, where the force wouldn't allow me to open up the door, I'd be stuck for a while. Fays are immortal creatures, but they can be stopped.
I'm just saying, I'm not sure how Fae's magic actually works. It was just an idea of maybe how I...
Well, right. Well, the thing about Fae is, Fae are tricksters. And, of course, like I said, my character is the darker somebody's heart is, the more they have to pay for their contract to come true. You're not quite Joker level, where I would just say, well, I'm just going to atomize you. But your character kind of, you know, dehydrates people's eyeballs and causes their bladders to explode. And, you know, not exactly a good guy. You know, you're not exactly a decent fella.
But the reason why I take over the world is good.
Well,
just
right.
the ways I do it is not.
Well, right. So if you wanted a contract where I say, helped you take over the world, I could easily do that. Because that's in good intentions. Meanwhile, if it's, I want you to turn mortal so I can kill your dumbass, I'm like, you're funny. I'm going to make this backfire horribly on you. And then you become a SpongeBob doll for the rest of eternity. You know, just throwing it out there. Fae aren't stupid, but they are with a good, they like a good joke. If you were like, I want to make this world a better place, and you explain to me how you want it to be a better place, sure, I can write a contract like that. That's no problem. If your way of doing it involved shoving tentacles up the arses of all the world leaders and causing them to explode, that's taking it a little... Yeah, I can't do that. I can't do that. No, I can't do that. Just lower the bar. Lower the bar. Lower the bar. I could.
But you could. You're a magical being.
I could. It would
You're a
cost
magical being. It's not that you can't. It's that you won't.
No, I could, and I would as long as the contract was valid. My character's biggest flaw is I can't affect contracts. So if you came with a contract and said, I want to take over the world by shoving tentacles and causing all the world leaders to explode, I'd sign off on that contract. But you better believe that the cost would be a representative of that. For instance, you would constantly have a tentacle up your arse regardless of what form you were in. Just that level of character, that level of, I don't have to kill you. It's just like a joke, It's a joke. It's a joke. It's funny. It's funny. And then you could easily just
is it a small tentacle like the tip just up there?
I don't know.
Or is it like...
I don't know. Do you want it to be a small tentacle?
A massive octopus tentacle.
Not enough.
And it like occasionally pops out my mouth.
No, not that level. No. Just like one that you would just feel constantly. Just enough that you'd feel it lipping around the inside.
Used to it after a while.
That's what I'm saying, though. See, Fae aren't monsters. They're just twisted. We're twisted. We're pranksters. I want this man to suffer. He raped me, and then the contract would probably be that something would rape him. Something, because the Fae are also pretty twisted when it comes to things. They don't like bad people. So if you're some kind of rapist, you better believe some rhino broke down from the zoo and is about to mount your arse. You know, throwing that out there, that's like the level of Fae would do. That's the level, but you'd live. It wouldn't kill you. You'd wish it did, but it wouldn't kill you. You would just live the rest of your life knowing that that rhino is out there somewhere, and it still wants to get at you. You'd come to the zoo and it would just stand up on the barrel like, and just like look at you. Like, you'd know he remembers you.
I just take my life at that point.
Exactly. Just saying, you know. That's how the Fae work. I'm not going to kill you, because that'd be wrong. Because I'm against killing.
I'm going to make you want to kill yourself, though.
Well, that's the other thing you have to understand about Fae. Fae don't have those thought processes. We don't think like human beings. If I look happy, you have to understand that as a Fae, I only look happy. There's no emotional tie there. You know, if you cut a Fae open, there's nothing inside of us. We're just made of magic. Now, you could bind us to become a servant. That's something you could do with a contract. You could banish us for an estimated amount of time. That's easy to do, too. You could fuse with a Fae and then have it be part of you for the rest of your mortal life. That would be a lot of fun with that kind of power. But with Fae, there's always a catch. And it's in the contract. You don't have to kill me. Because I'm probably never going to see you. That's the other thing you gotta understand. Unlike, say, Necro, who might run into you because you guys are kind of on the same level of screwing with people. That's not me. I'm off looking for the damaged people. The mentally destroyed people. That's who I'm looking for. Necro's a galaxy-controlling motherfucker.
So you are looking for me, then.
Well, it depends. Like I said, I might never see you, because if I open up my door, I might just see a bunch of fog go by and be like, huh, I was supposed to be here. Who's next on the list? And then just skip over you, you know? And even then, I'm not dangerous. It's not like I'm going to force myself on you or anything like that, or force a rhino on you or anything. I give you an offer. Hey, this is what I want to do for you. Take it or leave it. If you don't want it, fine. I'm not going to screw with you. I'm not going to force you to take the contract. Because it's just business. The next person in line, please. You're probably the most dangerous character out of all of us. My character has very specific rules he has to follow. You don't. I have very specific patterns I have to perform and do. You don't. Necro moves through nightmares, so if there's nobody having a nightmare in this section of the galaxy, good chance he'll never come here.
Yep.
Me, I'm just looking for people who are on my list. Your biggest problem on your planet right there would be a guy with a mask who controls people through scent. A guy who can control time. A super mimicky, super agile Harley Quinn goth lady. And a grandma who woke up that morning going, am I playing bingo today? That's the threats on the planet for you.
What would happen to the Harley Quinn with the water?
You know what? I don't think I want to know what happens to her.
Listen, you capture her, you better give me a call. We're DPing that.
You could just come to me and get a contract for me to create a clone of her. Don't need to double peep it. Just saying.
Listen, who wants a clone when you can have the real thing?
I don't know. The real thing? She might have an issue with you wanting to enlarge your adrenal gland, if you know what I mean. Although well, first of all, just think about Deathgasm for a second. He could literally make himself, you know, downstairs the perfect fit. Like, just throwing it out there, like, that is something. Like, why do you think Mr. Fantastic has his wife? It ain't for that brain up there. Now, there's a part of him he can stretch and mold. There's a part. It's there. He can fire that thing around corners while he's working. You know what's happening. There's a reason why Susan Storm never divorced him. There's a smile on her face. Deathgasm could do the same thing. Just throwing it out there. Like, he can just become perfection downstairs. Like, you can't stop that.
Listen, let me make you a thing a different human can never have.
I'm just gonna sit in my office and play on my Switch. I'm gonna play on my Steam Deck. Why? I'm a Fae with the ability to create whatever I want. Moving on. Like I said, what makes my character so powerful is also what makes him so weak. I am bound by very strict laws and very strict realities. I am anchored to my reality. I can't leave my reality. I'm stuck there forever. And if you go back in time and look for me, I'm not there because I am where I'm supposed to be in time. That's where I exist. I can't leave my office building. That's my thing. It's my dimension. It's where I live. So I can't chase after you guys. I can't leap tall buildings in a single bound. No, you guys got to come into my office. And if you leave, close the door for Christ's sakes. You weren't born in a barn.
I will purposely leave the door cracked.
God damn it. I'm going to have to get up from my desk. That's actually one of the jokes I had in my head. Like, there's people constantly leaving the door open. Like, listen. Actually scolded Supergirl for it. Because she ran out with the powder to go cure her mother. I'm like, were you born in a barn? Close the door!
Shut the fucking door!
Shut the door! Jeez! I closed the door. When she opened up, she was looking at the downstairs hallway to her room. Because I had closed the dimension up. I'm just saying, my character may be powerful, but I have very strict laws that I have to adhere to. Which literally makes your character and Sub's characters the most powerful characters made. I can't just go off on a tyrant and destroy an entire planet because I feel like it. Y'all could. Just saying for you guys to think about. My character, not that powerful in the long run. I need other people to exist for my character's powers to work. That's it.
So if I wipe out all the people in the Earth, I basically nullify a couple people's powers.
Oh, yeah. First of all, you'd have to kill Sub, which just nullifies his power to begin with. Nightmare Boy there, though, he's attracted to any form of nightmare. It doesn't have to be humanoid. As for me, if there are no more humans left, there's no more reason for me to be left, so I would just disappear. Grandma over there will just go to
also defeats the whole purpose of my evil plan.
Right, so
to make the world a better place.
Well, I mean, technically, if you start over, it's a better place. Also, there is one small...
You're not wrong.
Right. Just saying, though, the other thing is you're still alive. Which means I can't disappear yet. Unless, of course, you're very happy with what you're doing, in which case, if you're happy, I disappear. That's it. I'm gone. As a Fae, I would just go back to the magical weave and wait for another group to need me. That's it. That's how Fae work. Of course, that would also destroy your actual need to be on the planet. Killing off every other life form on the planet. Yeah, you get rid of me and everyone else, but, well, Nick's on another planet. He doesn't care because there's no more nightmares on that planet, so he's never going to show up. Grandma Goodness is just going to go and wander off in some random direction until she finds a new planet to smother with love. I'm not needed, so I'm gone. Yeah, if you killed everybody on the planet and you were happy, well, then you would get rid of all of us. Quite literally. In the strangest win of all time, you win by ultimate fatality. Congratulations, Deathgasm. Is anybody there? Am I just talking to myself now? Hello? Back row? Sub? Rebel? Death? Did my internet go out?
Yeah.
Hello? Am I all alone? I have to end the video if I'm all alone.
Yeah.
I can sometimes hear Deathgasm. Oh, there he is. Hey, Deathgasm. Everyone disappeared.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. Well, I'm going to be ending the live stream then. This is still going, right? Yeah, it's still going. Okay, so. Wow. Yep, still going. Hang on. What's going on here? All right. So, yeah, okay. So thank you all for joining us. I'm guessing there's some kind of weather coming this way. That's probably why everyone's crashing out. Usually when a big storm heads this way, everyone crashes. Deathgasm's still here, though. So until next time, I'm Kaiju K.
Everyone's still here.
Hang on, I'm going to disconnect and come back in.
Yep.
Yep, wait, this worked. I was the one that got screwed up. It was me the whole time.
trying to tell you.
Well, you weren't doing a good job. I couldn't hear you. You know, I got this thing. I got this thing in front of me called a cell phone. Somebody could have shot me a text or something.
Somebody's busy playing a game on his phone.
Somebody could have gone on Discord and shot me a message. Necro. I thought it was just me and Deathgasm.
No, and that's such a bad thing, guys.
No, that was not such a bad thing at all.
You make it sound like.
No. I was going to close out with just Deathgasm. All right, so let's try this again now that everybody's actually here. Until next time, folks, I'm Kaiju All Alone K.
I'm Necro Nick, where you're still here. Supplicate where you stand.
I'm Rebel Vanity, and I don't want to play with those two anymore.
What two anymore?
We want to play with your character.
And with that, we will see you all in the future.
No.
Peace out, everybody.